Hey guys, Mustang here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so very soon the LR, Goku and Piccolo banner is going to be dropping on Global, and so as always before banners come out I like to have a little bit of a retrospective and talk about the strengths and weaknesses of the banner and whether or not you guys should summon. Now, as always, I feel like I'm going to say this in every single one of these videos, but the most important thing to remember is that everybody's situation is different. If you are a Mega Whale who always throws at least a few multis at basically every banner, then, you know, regardless of what I say in this video, you're probably still going to do that. And if you're somebody who really likes what you've seen from the showcases and stuff from them on JP, and you just really want them in your box, regardless of any of the other things I say in this video, you're probably still going to summon for them anyway. So this video is more for people who really are on the fence, especially if you are free to play or you don't spend a huge amount of money in the game, and so, you know, you just want some advice on whether or not you think you should summon. So first of all, we will start off by looking at the banner. So the main new unit, of course, with legendary summon banners is the new LR, and then all the other featured units are a bunch of older SSRs that are all available in the general pool. So for example, if you do a summon right now on the Kid Gohan banner, you could pull any one of these side units in like the GSSR slot or anywhere else in the multi. Obviously, if you get like a guaranteed featured unit, you're not necessarily going to be getting one of these because they're not featured on normal banners, but all of these units are available in basically every banner. So that's the way legendary summon banners always work. You get the new LR, and then you get a bunch of these older units, which, looking down the list here, none of them you really want to pull. Like this Kaioken Goku has an easy A already, and he's okay, but he's already kind of, like, where do you use him? Like, he doesn't really fit into a lot of teams where he could be used because there's so many other better options. Same with like physical Piccolo here. He has his easy A. He's okay. He's pretty good defensive support for his team, but the problem with Piccolo units has always been that none of them have different names. So even with the same name update, you can now use them on the same team, but they don't link. And of course, Namekians is just a team that really needs a lot of help, so he's not exactly great. Icarus Gohan can be useful. I feel like he could get an easy A at some point, and then he would be really good even for some of the more difficult content. And then Tech Krillin, I would say, is probably one of the most valuable units on the banner. But he was featured recently on a banner. Was it the last LR banner? I swear I pulled like... Yeah, he was featured on the LR banner for part 2 of the download celebration, wasn't he? And I think I pulled like 6 copies of him from that banner. I think this AGL one might have been as well, which is interesting. I wonder if they would actually change them, because they've just been on the last LR banner on Global. But I feel like they don't really care enough about these standalone legendary summon banners to actually change them just because they were on a previous one. But these two are probably the two most valuable, with then maybe Icarus Gohan behind. This Piccolo could be good once he gets an easy A, because he's an AoE unit, so he could be very good in the future with an easy A. But other than that, none of the other units really stand out as being that great. Now, the Piccolo and Goku themselves, I've talked about them a couple of times in recent videos, so we're not going to go into huge amounts of detail about them. The only thing you really need to know, they are a Saviors category leader 4 key 130, so if you don't have Tech Gohan, that team is really good, and obviously you can run it with a Tech Gohan friend. It's got units like Piccon and some really good like Super Saiyans and stuff like that. There's some really good units on that team, but I mean, Tech Gohan obviously is the optimal lead, not only because his leader skill is higher, but then you can also tap into Hybrid Saiyans, which has an insane roster at this point. So their leader skill is pretty decent, but probably not a must-have. They have raising attack and defense on both of their super attacks, which is useful, because even if you're unable to get their 18 key super, you can still raise defense, which is going to prove useful in harder events. They do lower attack and defense on their 18 key super, which is useful for Super Battle Road. But the biggest issue with them comes from when you look at their passive, attack and defense 120% when performing a super attack. So until they attack, they have no defense, or basically no defense. They can get some more in the rest of their passive, but they basically get no defense. So you don't really want them to be in slot 1. Now, they get a high chance of launching up to 2 additional attacks, so you get some additional straight off the bat. That will help to trigger an additional from the hidden potential system if you do get dupes or you want to give them an additional skill orb. And then they also get extra key and extra attack and defense with each attack performed. they launch an additional super attack every time the character has attacked 6 or more times when HP is 59% or less. So you have to have already attacked 6 times, which is going to take a couple of turns depending on the RNG of their passive, and then you have to be at 59% HP or less, and then they'll get a guaranteed additional super, which will be good because of course they're raising attack and defense again, but it's a little bit weird. When I first talked about them in videos, I said that you should probably give them a bunch of additional because of this ability in their passive, and people did say that you want to go for crit more because they have additionals in their passive, but realistically, like, these two are just normal attacks, and then this guaranteed additional super, it's a guaranteed super attack, but it's only after you've attacked 6 times and have 59% or less HP. So maybe a good mix of additional and crit is going to be best for them, but that's obviously when it comes down to actually pulling dupes. So they have an active skill, gives them 6 key, attack and defense 59% for 1 turn. This is obviously like the B-Pan thing where it's calculated after all the other buffs. So it does actually give a huge attack buff. So that is very good. And they have to have attacked 6 or more times and have HP 59% or more. So I guess if you're bang on 59%, you can get this and have the guaranteed additional super, but you'd have to be spot on 59%. But there you go. They're a decent unit. I would say they're pretty good. I'm going to do like a summon, obviously, for the content, for a video for the channel, but I'm not going to be too fussed if I don't pull them. And honestly, the biggest part of this video really comes from, because we've talked about like the banner and the unit before, but the most important part, I think, really now for global players when it comes to summon or skip is looking ahead to what is going to come next. So this celebration is pretty much going to finish out the end of October. We will get the Halloween stuff at the end of the month, which should be the Android 8 and 17 card, as well as like probably a story event that you obviously farm them from. Maybe we'll get one of those weird banners like last year that just has a bunch of Dokkan Fest exclusives, but that will just kind of be to round out the end of the month. And then as we get into November, we will be going on to something else. And obviously, as I'm sure you all know, the big thing on everybody's mind at the moment, thanks to that tweet from iSeriously, is that potentially the Tech Gogeta is going to be the next thing coming to global, and a lot of people are super hyped about him. The Gogeta versus Vegito thing will never go away. Some people like one more than the other and will never be persuaded otherwise, and that's fine at the end of the day. Some people just like the design of one more than the other in terms of aesthetics. I've never really bothered with the argument myself going too deep because they're basically the same character. They're just a fusion of Goku and Vegeta. But yeah, people have been super hyped for the Gogeta version of what is basically STR Vegito. So potentially this is coming next to global. This unit is very, very good. The Gotenks that releases on their banner is also insanely good. He's like a must run in Super Battle Road for every single stage you can run him on. We'll also get this free to play Army of the Dead Frieza, who's decent. He's nothing crazy, but solid free to play unit. And then in that celebration, we also get a bunch of EZAs, a couple more of the hero extermination units here. We also get the Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku EZA, which is the last one for the 120 leads. None of these are banners though, so they don't really play into whether you should summon or not. But part 2 of that celebration brings the LR Janemba. So people have been talking about him on the timeline a lot recently. A lot of people are underrating him for some reason, but I mean, I can say this now without even a moment's hesitation. LR Janemba is better than LR Goku and Piccolo. So if that's what's going to factor into whether you summon or not, this is going to be the next legendary summon banner. I mean, technically this banner is, you could argue, is an LR banner because they are an LR, but this is going to be the next legendary summon banner. And not only is this unit much better than Goku and Piccolo, but Goku and Piccolo will just be on this banner as an unfeatured LR. So if you really are on the fence and you're not someone who goes in on legendary banners that often, I would honestly say you're probably better off saving for Janemba, because the teams that Goku and Piccolo are on, when you think about things like the GT Legendary Goku event missions, which are the things that people tend to struggle with quite a lot, there's not really any that you need for here. Like the Legendary Vegeta event, which will eventually come out on Global, I believe does have a mission for joined forces. But one of the things that people struggle with all the time with the Legendary Goku event GT, if you don't have the right units, is Corroded Body and Mind, which this Janemba is on. He is also on the new category, that is coming out with the God Goku and Hit, so he finally got another category. He's also on Exploding Rage, which is a category which is pretty limited. He's on Transformation Boost and Movie Bosses, which are both very strong teams. He's an insane link partner with the physical LR Bootanks. That rotation is absolutely ridiculous. So this guy is way worth summoning for more than Goku and Piccolo, if that kind of helps you with your decision. And then, of course, we potentially are going to get Heroes in November. We could get Heroes and Gogeta in November. I theorized about this in a tweet that I made the other day, because iSeriously's tweet about Gogeta coming next basically had text along the lines of saying that November could be really good for people on Global if you've saved a lot of stones, and I'm starting to think that maybe that means because we're getting Gogeta and Heroes, which are two things that people in the community are really hyped for, so you'd want to summon for both of those things, which would then mean why he said it'll be super good for people who've saved a bunch of stones, but not so much for everyone else, because then you're going to have to pick and choose where you summon. So that is something to bear in mind. So I think, honestly, if you're somebody who is free to play or you don't really spend a lot on the game, I would skip this banner. Now, one thing to bear in mind as well, I talked about it in the video that I put out earlier today, we are going to be getting free summon tickets for this. So as long as you spend 50 stamina every day, each day you're going to get one free ticket to summon on this banner. So somebody out there is going to get lucky and pull this LR Goku and Piccolo off the free ticket. And then the banner does also have a premium ticket that you buy from the shop. It's one of those ones that gives you a 20 unit multi that's going to have probably like guaranteed featured. Now obviously on these kind of banners, guaranteed featured is nowhere near as valuable, because like we said at the start, if you're not getting Goku and Piccolo, you're getting one of these units, which is not going to have been worth the price of the ticket. But if you're somebody who spends on the game, the ticket is definitely worth it, just to roll those dice and see if you can get Goku and Piccolo or another LR off of it. That would definitely be good, but obviously for everybody else, you're probably not going to buy them anyway. If you're someone who spends a little bit on the game and doesn't regularly buy stones, but you do want to try your luck at getting Goku and Piccolo, I would probably recommend buying the ticket and using it rather than just buying stones and going in for a multi, because obviously if you just buy stones and spend them on this banner, you're not guaranteed anything. So at least the tickets, you could get lucky. But I think overall, I would say this is pretty much a skip for most people, unless you're just someone who's really hyped for this unit, you really like their animations, or you really like the Garlic Jr. Saga stuff, or you just have seen what they can do and you really, really want them on one of your teams. But for most people, I would say this is going to be a skip. So let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know what you are planning to do. Are you going to summon or skip? Let us know down below in the comment sections, and let me know your reason why. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.